My dear friend, when did you start to perceive and realize your existence? Realize that you as a being exist in the world. My dear friend, I know I'm a tiny being in this infinite universe. So I guess this is why I'm always searching the boundary between me and the world. I think that is the way I'm trying to not be swallowed by the world. My dear friend, there is not such a singular self, but multiple selves. The selves, they are flowing, transforming, integrating. So, my friend, in this sense, ourselves is a universe. BP 300, a letter from planet B. My dear friend, when you say the big blue, why you cry so badly? Blue, the color of utopia. My dear friend, do you have nostalgia? Do you remember how many years we have left our original planet? Did we want to leave our hometown? Or we have to? Or we were exiled from our hometown? Or, my friend, there does exist this kind of a supreme power, like a giant wave in the universe, and we were just a tiny particle, overwhelmed by it. My dear friend, why do human beings and many other civilizations create language? Why we need it? I remember in our original planet, we don't have language. Also, we don't need it because our minds are connected with each other. We call it connective brain. My dear friend, who am I? I think no one needs to ask this question to the connective brain in our planet, because in connective mind, I am you, I am her, he, us, them. My family is me. My race is me. My nation is me. My planet is me. My dear friend, on our original planet, people have such a deep connection with their body and mind. But my friend, does love exist in that deep connection?
BC 2020, a letter to the Jinxiao in BC 2007 in China, Sichuan, Shiyong. My dear friend, what does the feeling of I just don't feel right about myself mean? Red. What is the meaning of the color for us? My friend, time went back 2007. That was the time we moved from Shiyong, a humble, isolated small city, to Chongqing, a big city, which was developing as a metropolitan city. 13 years ago, we were thinking the ambivalent affection we had was a mixture of excitement and nostalgia. On one hand, we feel excited that we had finally escaped the small town that trapped us. On the other hand, we felt sentimental by leaving the people and the land we loved. However, my friend, from my point of view now, we have been carrying an ambivalent feeling since we left our hometown. It is much more complex and intersectional than we thought. I think the term toxical shame from psychologist Unlearn can be used to articulate the ambivalent feeling we have had these years. As I remember, the sense of toxical shame started at 14 years old, when we found out that we can actually be attracted to both girls and boys. However, nobody told us what does that mean as a male attracted by another male. Then we started to searching for the language to interpret it and understand it. The first time that we come to know the term homosexuality in Chinese was from a psychological book named Mental Doctor, pressed in 2003 by Chongqing University Press. From my point of view now, some of the content of the book is problematic. On one hand, the editor of the book informs that homosexuality in China is no longer seen as a mental disease since 2001. On the other hand, these books offered a few psychotherapy cases of Chinese non-heterosexual men who are seeking so-called aversive therapy, which amount of shock therapy with the intention to cure their homosexual preference, which I think might mislead the reader to think that homosexuality is actually a disease that could be cured. My friend, I remember when we were teenagers, homosexuality was always related to some other insulting words towards boys, like 娘娘腔 means sissy boy, 变态 freak means freak, 人妖 means lady boy. Literally translated from Chinese, it means people evil. I think these words are like a linguistic cage trapping us in our toxic shame. So my friend, in this sense, language matters. It shapes ourselves, shapes how we perceive ourselves and the world. However, my friend, actually there are many more layers of the toxic shame which are hidden in other versions of our multiple selves. Through the international lens, we might understand it better. Family, politic, subjectivity. My friend, in Chinese culture, we don't have any religion that is directly against. Sorry. It's weird. I don't know why this image just comes to my mind. My friend, actually, this image are from our parents' generation. I never see this image in person, but it's weird, and somehow this image is just in my mind. Sorry, my friends, my mind being interrupted. Where did I mention? Yeah. Family, politic, subjectivity. My friends, in Chinese culture, we don't have any religion that is directly against homosexuality. But in pre-modern Chinese society, our family is like our religion. Parents were like our gods. There is a saying from Confucianism. There are three things which are unfilial, and to have no prosperity is the greatest of them. So the problem for most Chinese homosexual men is that they cannot fulfill their reproductive duty for their family, which is a shame. My friend, our family's generation was born in a time when their body and subjectivity were oppressed. I think the meaning of their life was constructed of family, connectivity, communism, chairman Mao, country. I think for my parents' generation, they don't have ownership of their own body, but instead, their family and the country owns them. One of the most ambivalent advocacy I have ever heard was from my mom. She said, "All I have done is for this family and for you." Yes, it is a type of great love. Also, it is a burden. My friend, red is the symbol of a family and the blood connection. Now I finally understand the meaning behind it. I think modernization, urbanization, globalization separate me from my family, even my country physically, but mentally there are still thousands of intangible thin red lines connecting our body and mind with them, which is where the shame comes from. My dear friend, We spend our whole teenager time trying to deny and escape the sense of shame. We become a nomadic person in the modern concrete jungle. However, after many years, I finally realized that the nomadic lifestyle is not just because of our free will, our own choice, but some bigger power is underlying it and even manipulate it. 1979, the reopening and revolution policy of China reshaped the whole country and the whole generation's destiny. Capitalism, urbanization, globalization, individualism, gentrification started at that time. My dear friend, sometimes we feel that we are like a weed in the concrete jungle. We feel we lost there. We are seeking what is the reason behind it. In last century, around the 18th of China. That was the time when our great leader Jinxiao released the policy of reopening and revolution, which, like I mentioned, totally reshaped this country and changed the destiny of the whole generation. Sorry, my friend, my mind being interrupted again. My dear friend, I think this letter is my first step in practicing self-love, understanding our sense of shame. Make it possible to accept ourselves and love ourselves. I think our conversation will continue. So I will talk to you soon. Your dear, loving friend, Jinxiao. International Come Out Weekend, October, the Netherlands, Utrecht. Thanks, everyone.